Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me. Yeah. Big time, big time, big time.
Welcome to episode of 203 of Fourth and Jawn. I'm Gail Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Hearn and Mr. Prime in the building. We're talking about the NFC East because we know the Eagles are the beast of the NFC East in our hearts, right?
Yeah, of course, in our hearts. In our hearts. Yeah.
I mean, but we do have to look around the neighborhood, see who's putting new, fences up, putting new shingles on. Who's moving into the neighborhood. Some of the players that were signed by the Giants and maybe down in Dallas, maybe some guy named Dak. Maybe in Washington, I just, right now we're looking around the neighborhood. Right off the bat, am I concerned about the NFC East? I'm not concerned. But I'm keeping my eyes open because again, right now everyone is sleeping on the Eagles. We've talked enough about the Eagles. Tonight is about talking about Dallas, New York, and Washington. Overall, I just feel like the Eagles, they did do some nice things in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Did they do, we got a linebacker in free agency and a safety, which is nice. But tonight is about the other people in the conference. I mean, do you feel concerned about one right off the bat? Just give me one team right off the bat that concerns you in the NFC East.
I hate to say it, man. It's Dallas. Dallas concerns me.
Okay.
And ultimately, like you say, am I scared of the rest of the teams in the NFC East? I think you'd be kind of naive to not be. After how we performed last season, we saw all the holes, and we know that during the draft, I think a lot of Eagles fans walked away from that after absorbing it all. And we feel pretty confident that we did a decent job in the draft, but we went into that knowing that we had a ton of ground to make up. And did we do enough to be able to compete with these teams? I think so. But to say that I'm not concerned about them, I mean, they got better just like we got better. So I am a little bit concerned.
Yeah, that's just the thing. I mean, I'm gonna try to get this out of the way before my brother tunes in. But yeah, I'm just as much worried about those guys. They went all defense. One, I believe, offensive player throughout the whole draft, and they pretty much keyed in on getting that defense of theirs back together. But come on, like even before this draft, it's the division. We always play each other tough, regardless of who we draft, regardless of who we have on our team, regardless what record we have. We always bring the best out of each other. So, I mean, when it comes to the season, it's any given Sunday. We just don't know what to expect from either teams. We just sit there as fans and root for our teams and then wish for our teams to go ahead and pull out the victory. But, with it being a division rivalry, anything can happen.
Anything could happen. You talk about Washington football team. We got a team that has been the laughing stock of the NFC East. The one move that I knew that we might be not in trouble, but that I knew that they were getting things on the right path. Bringing in Ron Rivera, having a coach that the team played for, especially going through his health scare with cancer. You saw a strength from that football team that you haven't seen in a while. They were playing for their coach. I mean, their previous coach was out on the block smoking doobies with the locals.
The sorority sisters.
That's what they were dealing with. It just didn't feel right. But this football team, they're built defensively tough and mentally tough. And I feel like, whether Alex Smith came in there, gave them some juice with some leadership, there was a different vibe with Washington last year.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you guys want to start with Washington? I mean, Evan is looked
representing
in. He's been the double agent.
Team.
Yeah. You've been checking out what they've been doing.
Yeah, I have. And I think there's one thing that we can all agree last year that Washington really stepped up, aside from the coach. I mean, obviously, I think Ron Rivera is a total step up. than Jay Gruden. Ron Rivera is a legit NFL coach. He's respected in the league, and respected by me as well. I think he's a great NFL coach. I was pretty bummed to see him go to one of my team's rivals. But one of the things that I think everybody was on board with last year is that they really bolstered up their defensive line. You look at just across the board, they have just monsters on that defensive line. It made some quick work in week one, getting to the quarterback. And so I'm looking at their first overall selection, 19th pick, in Jamin Davis. Just bolstering up that front seven, man. He's a really good linebacker. It was a guy that I was eyeing in the back end of the first round. I was hoping maybe by the grace of God, he could fall to 37 to the Eagles, even though I know we don't regard linebackers that highly. But Jamin Davis, I think, was an excellent addition. He's a really good player. Looking at you had a quarterback that went down. Broke his leg in half. Alex Smith is no longer there. Now they got Fitzmagic. So now they got Samuel Cosme as an offensive tackle. Dude is fast, man. I was looking at him. He is over 300 pounds. He's running like a 4.8. That's pretty athletic. That's really athletic, man. Really athletic. He's still got some things to polish as far as his play strength. But as far as him being a physical specimen, that is obviously there. Benjamin St-Juste, that was a guy that, another guy that we had our eyes on as Eagles fans.
That's another solid pickup.
It is.
A lot of people were, clamoring for him mid rounds. And then we were a little bothered when, because you talk about, Zach, who we picked up in the fourth. Benjamin St-Juste was the guy I was looking at, but.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And another guy that I know we were looking at, this one hurt, man. This one hurt.
Yeah.
Diami Brown, wide receiver out of UNC. I mean, I know all the Fourth and Jawn guys, the writers, everybody had Diami Brown on their board. It was just a matter of where he was ultimately going to fall to. He's an explosive player, man. He put up the past 2 seasons. He put up 2 over 1,000-yard seasons. He's got touchdowns falling out of his pockets. The dude's a playmaker. And Jonathan Bates, I mean, he's a good pickup, I guess. But Derek Forrest was a guy that another guy that we were kind of eyeing for that safety position out of Cincinnati. I mean, overall, as we get into the deeper rounds, they ended up taking a long snapper, and they filled out with another edge rusher in William Bradley King. Shaka Toney was a local guy. Penn State edge rusher. I know a lot of guys around here were talking about him. And Dax Milne, I think, actually was a very good pick in the 7th round. That was a guy that I had in all of my mock drafts. He was always a guy that was sitting there in the 7th round. I thought he could have potentially gone undrafted, but I still think he is a guy that could potentially do something for them if he finds his way off their practice squad. Overall, I think Washington had a pretty good draft. The only thing that was kind of eye-opening to me was the lack of what they drafted in a quarterback. We're rolling forward with the Fitzmagic season, and I'm just kind of surprised that they didn't want to try and develop anybody.
They have Mr. Taylor Heineke over there, former roommates with our Eagles long snapper, Mr. Lovato.
But if I got to be honest, like if we're being serious, I respect Taylor Heineke. I don't really view him as a potential future threat as a franchise quarterback in Washington.
Yeah, Bora says she thought it was odd that the midday show for WIP was comparing Fitzpatrick and Hurts during their show today. Thoughts on which of those QBs will have a better season?
You see, Fitzpatrick is a totally streaky quarterback. I think that Fitzpatrick will definitely have some good games this year, but it's not anything that's going to stick around. That's been like pretty much the story of his entire career. I think ultimately Fitzpatrick will have some flashes of brilliance, as he tends to do. And then there's going to be some really, really bad games where he probably throws 3 or 4 interceptions. That's just the general gist of what has been Ryan Fitzpatrick's career and why he's been able to stretch it out for as long as he has. Who do I think will have a better season? I'm not being biased here. I genuinely do think that Jalen Hurts will have a better season, hands down.
I'm just going to be, I'm like, again, if I speak in existence, it might happen. So I'm going to say Hurts has a breakout season. We've only had a sample size of 4 games. We know Fitzmagic. He's a veteran who he's got a great presence. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's going to bring something to the table as a veteran. But I'm just saying Hurts just to be a homer right now.
Fitzy was my guy. You know what I mean? I love Fitzy, and I definitely would have loved to pick them up as a backup for us, but eventually that didn't happen. But let's just keep it 100, man. When we play Fitzy, it's like he owns us. All right, and Miami, he killed us. Washington game, I mean not Washington, Miami, Tampa Bay games. Those 2 games he killed us, and it was just like, now we gotta see him 2 more times during the season. So I wouldn't sleep on Fitzy. Those games that you mentioned that he's gonna be solid, it turns out it's going
to be against the Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, man. He's a notorious Eagles killer. He has been for a long part of his career. I still have nightmares and PTSD of him showing up in the locker room with all of Deshaun Jackson stuff on when he was in Tampa Bay, just clowning us, man. And like,
button up shirt.
I had nothing. There's nothing I could do but give it up to him, man. Like he played well in that game, so I'm not going to sit here and hate. I've personally low key been a fan of Ryan Fitzpatrick throughout his career. So,
hey, but you know what else I've been a fan of?
What's that?
Dude, I got breaking news, man. This is important PSA. This is brought to you by manscaped.com. This is your pubic service announcement and the news you've all been waiting for. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is now available for purchase in USA and Canada. This new trimmer was just released only moments ago, Evan.
Yes.
And we are one of the first to get our hands on it. And, got to share the news. I mean, join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FANSIDED20 at manscaped.com.
Now, Gail, I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and the details on the 4.0 are next level, man. Their advanced ceramic blade is skin-safe technology. It is so good that it almost seems as if Manscaped worked with SNL's own Elon Musk's engineers to ensure your testes are as safe as possible. I have had in my time of being a young adult, growing up in the shaved bag era, I've nicked the nuts a few times. You know what I mean? You try and clean it up for a lady, and you end up nicking yourself, and it creates a whole disaster of a conversation. Not with Manscaped. What makes this trimmer different than all other trimmers? A multi-function on and off switch can engage a travel lock created for people who like to travel. I like to travel. I got a bunch of games I'm trying to go to. For the Eagles at away games this year, I got to keep my nuts sheared. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn a 4,000K LED spotlight on and off for your balls whenever you need for a precise shave. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all over through additional guard lengths with sizes 1 through 4. That way you can get a little creative with your cut. And looks-wise, it's sleek with a 2-toned matte and gloss finish. It even features a hot foil stamped black chrome Manscaped logo. Show that mower off loud and proud.
The optimized Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is waterproof, so you can groom in the shower and not have to worry about making a mess in the bathroom floor. Did I mention wireless charging? The Lawnmower 4.0's new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery life last longer. If you're still trimming your face with your ball trimmer, it's time to make some changes. All right. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code FANSIDED20 at manscaped.com. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. And your balls will thank you, along with the ladies.
Yeah, just to follow up, man, get 20% off free shipping with the code FANSIDED20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use FANSIDED20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Now,
you think Fitzmagic could use a Manscaped? I think he could use the 4.0, bro. There ain't no way that man has got a Manscaped.
I think I think he's been using the wrong trimmer on his face. I think he's a guy that does he shave it off and then he just grows it during the season?
I truly don't know. It's one of those things that just happens to always exist. I've never seen it, grow or not be there.
Will is giving you a shout out for your read.
Oh, thank you.
Solid read, bro. Solid.
Oh, geez.
It's like a fine leather right now.
Does it look like an NFL football?
Here, I'll show you.
Whoa, hey. So moving right along to the Giants, the New York Giants. Prime, I mean, are you I know you're a big fan of the Giants. When you go up to see, y'all have a lot of family members that live in Newark area, so they're probably Giants fans, aren't they?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. But I despise them. I pretty much, this is one of the part of the time of the season, these games against the Giants where I pretty much give like one of the most shit talkings of my career. You know what I mean? Like I just let it all out, and these fans can't handle it. The fans at the stadiums can't handle me. My family members can't handle me. I mean, I literally had my nephew show up at my household yesterday in a Giants shirt, and I kept him at the door. I was like, look, you stay outside.
That's where you belong.
That's where you belong, just along with the rest of those Giants fans. But yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't sleep. Honestly, I'm not going to sleep on some of the picks that they ended up making. They had some interesting ones, especially the fact that the first round didn't go their way. And there were plenty of fans that showed their true side of crying like a bunch of babies that they are when we made that pick to pick up Devontae Smith. But in the long run, Kadarius Toney is one of those guys that I was big on. Honestly, being at the stadium and waiting for the pick to be made, I'm not going to be one to sit here and tell you that I was confident that Devontae Smith was going to be at 12 for us. But look, it worked in our factor. You know what I mean? Like it worked in our way. But they went with Kadarius Toney. I was pretty much like, damn. They still made out good. Being a Miami Hurricanes fan with their second round pick, Aziz, like, like I wasn't too worried about him going against him and seeing the Hurricanes and the Bulldogs face each other. The kid didn't really have that much good work. There was a couple of games that I ended up catching, and then knowing that the Giants ended up picking, I was actually happy about that because the dude is like no threat. I see that, he wasn't really going to do much coming into the NFL. And then with the offensive lineman that we have, I don't see him being a threat. And I could see that the fact that some of these Giants fans, when that pick was made, they weren't too happy about it. They feel like he doesn't have enough pass rush moves, under his belt.
I think so. I think some people, I think it's, if you're talking about value in the second round, some people had that dude in the first round, and I'm like, bro, like this, but again, like bringing on the edge rusher, if he has some upside, I mean, I think, you got a pass rusher in the second round. We'll see how it works out. But
yeah. I mean, I get it, I really do, but I don't know. I was like I said, I was happy. Hey, you picked up a bum. You know what I mean? What a perfect, what a perfect fit for the Giants. You know what I'm saying? In the third round, they went with Aaron Robinson. I mean, he was one that was definitely on the radar. Solid.
Talk the prospect alum.
Yeah, definitely has some good agility. Plays defense very well. So that was a pretty good pickup on their end. Ellison Smith, the kid's definitely known for his athleticism, with his regards to the agility on the edge and everything. But again, another pretty solid pick for them. They actually were, honestly, were focused on beefing up their defense a little bit. I mean, Joe Judge, if he felt like that was the way to go, whatever. Okay. Pick 6, Gary Brightwell. It was just like I guess like a roster just to fill in the roster. I get it. Okay. Whatever. And then the last pick for them, for Darius Williams, I've heard his name mentioned a few times with, leading up to the draft and all that stuff. So, they pretty much did pretty good by picking him up. So, that was another solid pick. But it seems like 2 out of the 3 defensive players that they went with were key, were solid players. So, that might have actually helped them out. But again, when it comes to the season, it's a whole different ball game. No threat. I agree. Like, again, I stick to what I said earlier. I see Dallas probably being the most threat out of the 3. So, with these pickups and with the roster they already got, and then Joe Judge, it being his second year, all right, bring it on. Daniel Jones still needs to learn how to run with 2 feet, that type of stuff. So,
hey, don't say that too loud, man, because I do remember what Daniel Jones did to us one time.
Yeah, he reran it. He reran it on the second time, I guess. Yeah. You're right about that.
Well, I think Rodarius Williams, I think that's a good value pick. He's a guy that we also had on a Talk to Prospect this offseason. Like if I want to look at their draft, Kadarius Toney, he's a guy that I think he fills a role with that offense. You know what I mean? Like you have Darius Slayton, as a guy that can stretch the field. We forgot that John Ross was in the building, who's also another
underwhelming career.
Vertical guy. And then you add Kadarius, who's like that
a rapper,
young Joker. Young Joker.
They claim he's a chess piece to Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
We'll see. Look, I was a big fan of his. He seems like he could be a threat, but at the same time, they got to learn how to put the pieces together.
I think he's not that overall developed wideout yet. He's got some crazy dance moves when he's doing his routes. Kenny Galladay, their big off-season move.
Yeah,
I think that was pretty nice. Again, the Giants like world beaters. Nah, I think they're doing things right. I think they've bought in. I've seen some juice in those guys that I hadn't seen in a couple years either. You know what I mean? Like they look like a different football team.
Yeah.
Like it seems like by midseason they started buying it. Is it the new Patriot way that Joe Judge is bringing in up there? You guys think?
It could be. I just think that historically, the Belichick coaching tree hasn't done remarkably well. So as good as coach as Bill Belichick is, the Andy Reid coaching tree seems to find more success. And I call Nick Sirianni a pseudo branch of the Andy Reid tree because he came from someone who came from the Andy Reid coaching tree. But overall, the Giants, I think that they had a decent draft. As far as bolstering up their defense, I think they did a really good job. I really like Aziz. I liked Aaron Robinson a lot. That was a guy I really, really wanted the Eagles to get. We will see whether this could be the next Earl Thomas versus Brandon Graham debate, whether we with Milton Williams and Aaron Robinson. So we will see in years to come.
Yeah, they retained Leonard Williams, the guy that he used to be a Jet. They brought him on via trade. I think so far he's coming on. Overall, again, I just think I won one of my friends. He's a huge Giant fan. He said the low key acquisition is their new offensive line coach. I believe it's Rob Sales. He feels like he's going to help develop that offensive line unit. Overall, you look at Will Hernandez, Matt Hurt from UConn could be the next. Nate Solder took a pay cut, and then the Andrew Thomas, I believe, their left tackle, the rookie. Will we see the development of their offensive line? We hope not. Saquon Barkley again. You could talk about him for days, dude. He's an all-world talent, and that's
when
the guy
healthy.
When healthy, exactly. I don't wish no bad on the dude, you know what I mean? But yeah, I just don't feel I don't know, man. Like I'm not too much worried about him. He's got to prove something to me, being a opposing team, fan, that you stay healthy, and I mean, then I'll look at you as a threat. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen plays. I've seen where he breaks it, but.
I mean, it's no doubt about it that he is an extremely talented player. Saquon is one of the best running backs in the league when healthy, but that's just the thing, is that he struggled with his entire career. So it's the reliability of being able to lean on Saquon Barkley. And I don't know, like I don't think that he has all of the gas in the tank to be able to bring that and go for an entire season unhurt.
Exactly.
Yeah. Last but not least, the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys in the draft again. They did some things that like picking up Micah Parsons, a guy in the offseason we talked about heavily in his off the field issues. But again, man, you infuse Micah Parsons in that defense. Dallas Cowboys are a team that they value linebackers. Whether it be, they've just showed they brought in Smith recently. They gave him a contract. Leighton Vander Esch as well. They've always Sean Lee. Mm-hmm. Now they have Micah Parsons, who he's definitely a versatile.
They always have good linebackers. Yeah,
you could rush them off the edge. Kelvin Joseph, another guy who had some off the field vibes. He transferred from LSU, played at Kentucky. My boy from Kentucky, who covered Kentucky for a couple of years, was like boasting about Kelvin Joseph, a guy whose stock was rising, and another cornerback that, again, we're talking about third round rage. That's when a lot of those cornerbacks went off the board. Odigizua, he's a guy that they can bring in the mix. They're trying to beef up the middle of that defensive line. Again, they're you could see with their draft. I mean, they went heavy defense. Yep. Chauncey Golson, edge from Iowa. Talking about moving on from some of their other edges over the last couple of years. Nashawn Wright, cornerback from Oregon State, and then Jabril Cox, another guy again that we loved. Yeah, we did a talk the prospect on him. I mean, overall, they get Josh Ball from Marshall, Simi Fehoko, a big possession type wide receiver. And then Izzy Mukwamu, another guy that did a talk the prospect. But overall, let's just looking at their draft. I thought I thought they did a good job, man. Like I thought, they really are hammering home a point. Like their offense, they put up some points. Even when they had guys like Andy Dalton, that offense was pretty successful. And then their defense was horrendous. So the fact that they're pouring in amounts of capital into that defense, they're doing the right thing. I mean, would you guys agree?
I agree and I disagree because I mean I'm looking at it and they definitely 100% bolstered up that defense. But you look at what was it, the fifth round was the fourth round. So the 138th pick was the first offensive player they take off the board. To me, that's a little bit risky. But I'm looking. I understand the fact that they totally bolstered the defense. However, like we saw last year with a guy like Zeke Elliott, that he really needs a two-dimensional offense in order to succeed. When they don't have a quarterback and they are relying on Zeke Elliott, they're able to shut the run game down. We saw a lot of that last year. He really fell off once that got injured. And so I am looking at their team and I'm somewhat optimistic. But at the same time, I fear that defense. I really do. I think they got a lot better on defense.
I mean, the biggest guy they brought back is Dak Prescott. Giving him that big contract. I think they got their leader. As much as we might joke about what Dak is, as Eagle fans, I think they got one of their leaders and a guy who's they're fan of in the locker room, man. Like it could be discussed across the league about how good Dak is, from opposing fan bases. But Dak is, he is pretty much the heart and soul of that offense. I think, they brought back Jordan Lewis, Noah Brown. Let's see, Keanu Neal, another safety. You talk about bringing in pieces that can, who are familiar with Dan Quinn.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah. I mean, Devontae Casey, another guy that they can bring in to compete. But, he's got that ball hawking skills. But overall, it's like they're trying to beef up that defense. They brought in Terrell Basham, Carlos Watkins, a defensive tackle. I just think, I just feel like they're making the right moves. And
that's the
it's hard to
part,
say that.
Yeah.
It's hard to say that, but I feel like they're making the right moves at the moment. And that's the Eagles gotta be prepared, man. Like it's put up or shut up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is our time, and like this is the opportunity that we have to seize. I mean, after how poorly the NFC East played last year, every one of these teams in the NFC East, this is your time to step up. It needs to be the Eagles, man. We're the Eagles community. We need the Eagles to be that team to put themselves above the rest.
Yeah, especially, I mean, definitely need it for all three of these divisional rivals. They pretty much took the best of us, last season, and then with Jalen Hurts coming in, I really would love to see the kid, just outshine all three of those defenses. Really, bring the best out of him and like just let loose, man. That's the part that I'm like really hoping for, because looking at this lineup on paper, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's a little scary, especially with Dallas, but. Now, I mean, again, it is whatever. Bring your shit. Let's go. You know what I mean? We going to go ahead. You're going to get the best out of us, and we're going to be there, just rooting for our team like we always do.
Yeah. No, I mean, talk about the Eagles, just overall. I mean, we've been talking about the Eagles for months now, but just thinking about what we've done in the offseason, I think we're still the biggest concern for me right now is CB2, where we're standing at right now. Is a possible move waiting to happen once they either trade Zach Ertz or release Zach or whatever they do, open up some cap, and then finally have enough for CB2. We have enough to sign our rookies at the moment. So, I feel like that move is lurking because they didn't really address it. They waited till the fourth round to do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just overall, just having a wide receiver one for Jalen Hurts. I know he's a rookie, but I feel like he's going to bring a lot to the table, man. Devonta Smith is going to be huge. Landon Dickerson, a guy who's going to get on the field maybe earlier than people expect. He's got an injury-prone history. Where they stand with that'll be very interesting. I mean, were you feeling the mid-round picks? Is that where you fell off the wagon?
Me?
Yeah.
What, for the Eagles?
Yeah.
I mean, I was generally a fan of more of day 3 than I was day 2. Day 2 was a bit confusing. I'm not going to lie.
My bad. Real quick, just is it safe to say that everything that we did on day 3, we should have done on day 2, and everything we did on day 2 would have been more preferred on day 3? Because I felt like there was just way more talent at what we focused on day 3 on that day 2.
I get what you're saying, but I'm looking at it as we actually walked away from this draft with, arguably 2 top 5 defensive tackles in this draft, in Marlin and in Milton. So I'm looking at that, and while I didn't really have that as a position of concern going into the draft, I'm looking at like them trying to sort of follow the same sort of script that the Washington football team had followed in bolstering up that defensive line. If we can get pressure to the quarterback quicker, that means that our cornerbacks don't have to work for as long. So that's what I think we're kind of working at. But don't get me wrong. I think we're totally lacking a cornerback 2 on this team. I think it still needs to be addressed before the season starts, or we are going to have similar problems that we did last year.
Yeah.
Tim says, but why not keep Ertz? Kind of thinks it may go that direction since we didn't get the offers that Howie wanted. Like, again,
every day that passes, I think that's a possibility.
I mean, I would love to keep Ertz. I mean,
Would you?
but
Would you?
no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I would love to keep Ertz in theory, but if he's not wanting to stay here, he wants to re-up somewhere else, get another 2-year deal, 3-year deal, because he's not happy on his deal right now. I get it. But if he's not going to get that, and then they come to a term where they're just agreeing with like, Eric, we're going to let you walk, we're going to let you release. Release.
Yes, Tim, Julie, Evan, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I would like to keep Ertz one more year. I would like to keep him on the squad. I would like for him to, be the better person that my former quarterback, no pun intended, didn't. Come in here with talk it out, man. Work something out. At the same time, why not just go ahead and play your ass off? Because what are you going to go out there and try to get, knowing that we got a new CBA coming in next year? You know what I mean? Like, you got to go ahead and figure something out. So play your ass off. If you want to go ahead and show off for another team for next season, by all means, go right ahead. Give me one more season. Do what you got to do, and then, you have my utmost respect. And it gives me one more year to have.
I don't think he's coming back, guys. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Yeah. It's a wrap. So I just figure, I just feel like they're just waiting for that
June
opportunity.
1st. Yeah.
Mark says it all depends on Ertz. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like if he's got a better situation to go to, like, why not? Like, if it's his brother even said, he's like, I don't see my brother being part of a rebuild. If he is, he's like, even my brother would tell you he doesn't, want
to be a part of that.
We are kind of not, I wouldn't say rebuild, but retool.
We totally are.
Zach says, I'm waiting to see the possibility of working out with Jalen at some point. I mean, it'd be nice. I'm not going to be mad at it. But it could be Dallas Goddard season. I saw a comment here. Mark said, Kerryon Johnson press conference was good today. Excited to see what he can do. I actually didn't see it yet. Did you guys see that?
No, I haven't even catched.
I didn't catch it at work.
No, I think Kerryon he's a good value right now for a potential RB2. You figure you have a guy in the mix who's competing in a new team, new energy, new RB energy. We're talking about a guy who can give you a little thunder. He's got some juice. Like, he's got some bursts. I don't know about long speed, but he's got some bursts. He hits those holes, and I've seen him run over some Cowboys. I mean, that's got to be exciting.
That feels good. That feels good. I think Kerryon would be a good addition. I like having him in here for the sole purpose. Well, not the sole purpose, but an aspect of it being competing with Gainwell. For that, I'm not just going to give Kerryon Johnson that RB2 spot. I want to see after training camp who comes out on top between him and Gainwell. And if we create 2 better running backs because of that competition, then I'm all for it. With that being said, I think that Kerryon Johnson definitely has more juice left in the tank than Jordan Howard, in my opinion. So I think it was a good pickup. I think it was. I think it fits this offense well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, who fits this offense well? Miles Sanders.
Yeah, he do.
But he's not an off-season acquisition. He's just that guy. Hopefully he lights up the league again and breaks off some runs, and hopefully he's utilized to his best ability. I mean, we did mention Kenneth Gainwell. I did want to mention him real quick. I think he brings another element to this offensive running attack. A guy who's official out there in space. Put up a monster year, 2019. Sat out last year, but I think he was a good value pick in the 5th round. Overall, I mean, the Trayvon Grimes stands are wondering why we haven't mentioned.
They're out and about. They're out and about, man.
Yeah, man. If you would just
Grimes hive.
Even I was on YouTube the other day, just like seeing all these. I'm like, bro, did I? Again, I get it, but I'm, again,
something you missed, bro.
Dude, it's every single offseason, the fan base has that guy in that they want to, pop off. The Paul Turners of the world. I'm not saying that. I think that Trevin Grimes could be a better wide receiver. He's definitely got a better build than Paul Turner, but he went undrafted for a reason, guys. Like, let's be real about that.
Hall of Fame already? Put him in the Hall of Fame?
I'm not getting his jacket ready yet. No.
Yeah, I mean, one thing. Are you? You said ready. Are you guys getting ready for some Sixers tonight?
Am I ready for some Sixers tonight? 10-9-8 76ers, baby. I'm fucking ready. Clinching the first.
Are they make it to the finals?
Hey, man, the stars are lining up. I mean, look, they're going tonight. They're going to get that number 1 seed. I see finals, man. I do. I'm really confident about the rest of these playoffs. I'm confident the way the chemistry and the way these boys are bringing it together. But, I mean, on top of that, we got even more greater news today about the fact that, they're talking about full capacity when the season starts. Philadelphia Eagles, you know what I mean? So,
yes, sir. The way the West is set up right now, I think that if we make it to the finals, we could win it, man. With the Jazz and the Suns being the top of the West right now. I am concerned.
Yeah, he's out tonight.
Yeah. Okay,
it's on Ben. It's all on Ben.
I got concerns about the Nets, though, man. The Nets give
me
worries.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
What about the Bucks?
Fuck Giannis. Greek asshole.
Wow. Okay. All right. Tell him how you feel. Tell him how you really feel.
Surprise, motherfucker.
I'm getting ready for the Sixers. I'm excited. I think I was telling someone was like, "Yo, how you mentally doing? Well, you do good." I'm like, I mean, the Sixers are holding me on. They're holding me down mentally. Like when the Sixers are on right now, I'm like, please give me something to watch. I need something to hold me down. Phillies, if they blow another lead, bro, like I was up till like 12 o'clock. That
Braves game, yeah, man. Yeah.
My dad's like, my brother's like, yo, I gotta go to bed, man. I'm tired of this stuff. Like my dad looks at my brother's like, you gotta believe, son. You gotta stick it out, son. And he's like, all right. He sits down, and then the Phillies are up 3, and we're like high-fiving. We're like, yeah, this is what you. My dad's like, this is why I believe, son. And then they end up blowing that run lead. I'm like, dude, go to bed. I got it. Yeah. I got it.
And we ain't even going to bring up that 4th team in Philadelphia. They don't deserve to be talked about right now.
After
the way they started that season, the way they ended it was embarrassing.
So much hope, man. So much hope.
Flyers talk on the timeline. I don't think I've seen any of it.
Now we know why Gail doesn't do hockey.
They've gone quiet for the past month or so. And to be honest with you, I think there hasn't been enough Sixers talk on the timeline for as good as they're playing. I mean, I see it. It's not like people aren't talking Sixers. I'm just saying, let's get the juice pumping, man. I think we're finals down.
They're talking Tim Tebow. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Let's not get on that.
I like
Tim Tebow should be doing Manscaped reads right now instead of fucking playing in the league.
It's at the end of the day for you all. Do you Tebow stands out there, or what? Like you feel like you need to. I was like, I can't believe I'm talking about it right now, but I felt like I needed to talk about it because everyone's talking about it. Mm-hmm. It's great publicity. It's great for the Jaguars. Like you could say it's a PR move. It's a PR move. Like you could see it miles away. Like what else are they going to talk about during, off-season training camp? Tune in to see if Tim Tebow makes the roster.
You mean to tell me there's not enough crazy shit that goes on in Florida that they could talk about? They had to hire Tim Tebow.
Like Florida man. Florida man started is
I do get it though. It's a small market team, and you're bringing some buzz to them. It's going to be one of those feel good stories during training camp. But ultimately, let's be real. I mean, this dude hasn't been in the league in 9 years. He's never played tight end. He's not gonna make the team.
Do you think they might have done it just to take a little bit of the pressure off of Trevor?
Nah, I think Trevor's going to be. I think Trevor's going to be good, man. I actually like Trevor and Travis. The fact that they're going to be playing together.
But the prayer club's going to be legit.
Oh, it's gonna be
Bible study is going to be off the chain.
Bible study is going to be legit, bro. What's Trevor Lawrence 316?
Hey.
What's his number? Is it number 16, right?
If he decides
16 or 18.
Nah, 16.
Yeah, I think it's 16. Yeah.
Yeah, 16. Yeah.
That was pretty smart.
And who knows?
Pretty crafty,
maybe Tim Tebow will go with number 3.
There you go.
He's not making the roster, right? So everybody on the timeline feeling like you need to argue he's not making the roster. It's a great PR move. Good job, Jaguars. You got everyone fired up for no reason. Evan, any last words before we get out of here?
I just want to say, go Sixers, baby. Clinching it tonight. Let's go.
Okay. Real talk. Prime.
Pretty much the same thing. Let's go, Sixers. You know what I mean? Give us some hope, baby. Ready to ride.
Playoffs.
We
talking playoffs? Yes, we are talking playoffs. I feel like it's here, and I'm about to get some food, and I'm going to be repping these birds. NFC East, final grade for the birds. Off-season moves.
For the entire off-season?
Off-season moves, yep.
I will go B+ while we still sit here without a cornerback. I like everything else that they did. I just were lacking that cornerback. That's what's preventing them from getting that A.
B+, okay. Prime?
I'm actually going to go with a B. Just a little bit less enthusiastic about the whole off-season transitions.
I'll piggyback off the B+. I think if you I was gonna say B, but if you get the CB2, B+.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair.
But for me and the guys, we'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, fly, Eagles.
Go
fly.
Sixers.